The Dark Summoner, evil incarnated. Today we have the Warlock. He throws meteors at enemies just because he can, and his spikes penetrate even the toughest of opponents. Today we are using the Warlock in the Dark Mirror, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so here we are in Act 1, just before the Yggdrasil fight, and today we are using the main man himself, Warlock.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
Now, Warlock here is a magic balance skull, and we've got 47 bone fragments, so we can't get this guy upgraded to legendary just yet. And for the items we are rocking, we have the Carlane Insignia, the Prohibited Book, the Discolored Dark Quartz, the basic Carlane Staff, the Lunar Ring, and the Priest Staff. So looking quite well on the items. But before we get into the Yggdrasil fight itself, I did just want to say thank you and a massive shout out to Mr. Bacanudo. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Now, you will know him if you are a regular member in the Skul Discord. He basically has created a mod for Skul, and for a content creator like me, instead of me grinding out for a few hours trying to find a skull to record on, this just makes my life so much easier, as I can pick a skull, pick a new item like I've done today with the Prohibited Book, and we can just do a run on them that way. So thank you so much, Mr. Bacanudo, and let's just get into the Yggdrasil fight.
Okay, let's go.
And so we really want to try and upgrade the Prohibited Book into the Demonomicon. You do that by doing skill damage to enemies, and you can get 3 pages per enemy. If we are lucky, we should be able to get it just before the Sisters fight. If not, we can get it in Act 3. Now, Warlock here has been buffed massively since the latest patch, where all of his skills now do more damage. His skills have actually now changed, like the spikes where they come out faster. And the main downside to Warlock beforehand has also been fixed, because you now become invulnerable after completing your concentration on a skill, which was literally the one and only real downside to playing this guy, is that you could never fully concentrate your skills, as you would literally just get hit and die. And you really do want to get this guy to legendary as quick as possible, because he does get a massive boost to his power, especially when concentrating his skills. So if we could also get a little bit of concentration speed in the trainee's necklace, just to really help, because all of our damage when we actually upgrade this guy is just going to be coming from our skills. We're not going to be doing any kind of basics really. And one more meteor should be able to finish Yggdrasil off here, so let's wait for that to get called down. And is it going to kill him? Yes, it is. And let's open the chest here. What are we going to be getting? And we do find the broken mana engine, which is certainly not bad, so let's pick this up and let's make our way onto the curses. And what we're doing is picking up Soul Strike and upgrading that, and we can move on here to Act 2. Okay, so I did just want to interrupt today's video to say thank you for all the support we have been getting on the recent Skul videos. I'm going to try and hit 400 subscribers by the end of April, so if you are new here, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe, and let's get back into the build. Now, we are 53 bone fragments short of upgrading this guy up to legendary, which is quite unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. So if we do find a few uniques, or if we can get lucky and find some legendaries, that would really help out massively, because like I said, this guy does get a real big power buff when he upgrades all the way up to legendary. Luckily, we're actually doing really well in our skill damage at the minute, especially with our meteor. It is one-shotting basically everyone in the room, which I'm certainly not going to complain about, because it gets us our skill damage, it gets us our damage for the Prohibited Book in getting us pages. Now let's take the money, move on to the skull room here. Let's start off by charging up a meteor on our way down. It should hit most of the enemies down here when it's actually activated. And we do get the Halfling Girl, which isn't really too useful for us, and that meteor actually did just wipe out the entire room. Yeah, Warlock, if you've not used him now, is probably one of the better skulls in the game with the amount of AoE and damage he just does personally. And the Halfling Girl, we don't actually really need you right now, so we'll just let you get destroyed. And we do find the legendary champion can get destroyed, and that actually pushed us over to the edge to be able to upgrade this guy just after the adventurer fight. And let's open the blue flask here. The recruit can just get destroyed, and let's make our way over to the next money room. And we do get a chest room here. If we could find something good to give us a little bit of magic damage, that would work out quite nicely. We'll start off here by using the meteors to kill most of the guys here, and we've only got the maid to worry about now. And we've got 2 dinner plate maids who luckily should die pretty quickly here. Just went over the limit on 800. We're not going to be picking that up, so we can just move on. Or actually, you know what? We've got the money, so let's open the chest. And it wasn't worth it for the heart of the aesthetic. but we will take that anyway for the max HP. Now let's move on to the next skull room here. Let's charge up a meteor because this should just wipe out the entire room. Nearly up to half on the pages were looking decent, sat at 230. Luckily, this room is really quite good for actually getting papers on people because there's just so many enemies in here, and the AoE from the meteor can just kill them all instantly, which in its own right isn't actually too good because you do get 3 pages per people, and I don't know if it's based on skill damage or how many times you've actually hit the enemy. But we can't let Genie get destroyed. We are onto the adventurer fight here, so let's starting up by charging up a meteor. Let's hit him with the meteor here, the thief and the priestess. Certainly not going to be causing us any kinds of problems, so let's just charge up a spikes to deal some good damage here to these two. Really just want to get them stunned before they actually do their main move, and unfortunately we couldn't break the priestess. Luckily we should just be able to charge up a meteor here to kill most of these guys, and there we go, that has hit them both. Want to be stunning the thief before he does his main move, or let's actually just go for the priestess first. Let's get the meteor charged up. Should be doing a good amount of damage to the priestess. That should also break the thief, and she's dead. We've only got this dude left. Luckily the spikes should be able to finish it off, and we do get the mage's mana bracelets, which is a little bit of wisdom, so let's take this. Let's also destroy the prisoner for the extra bone fragments, and we can move on here to Arachne and upgrade Warlock here into legendary. And here we go, we have the legendary Warlock. He's going to be doing a lot more for us now because he actually does damage when concentrating. Let's put the rest of the bone fragments into the HP. We want to get that nice and maxed out as quickly as possible. And we're still going to be prioritizing skull rooms because we do want to max out the totems nice and quickly. Let's start charging up a meteor here. And as you can see, when concentrating, he actually does damage with his skills. We've only got the thief or the bullet to worry about, but he's already dead. So let's see who we get. Monitor can get destroyed. And as you can see now, we're doing some real big damage here with the spikes and our concentration skills. So if we could get just a little bit more concentration speed in the trainee's necklace just to really help up and boost the damage of our meteors when concentrating. And let's make our way onto the shop. Let's take the 10 max life. We'll also take the ceremonial dagger for the heart of the aesthetic, and we're going to go ahead and buy the food. Let's take the next skull room here. If we could find the solar sword, if I was being greedy to get Fulgent Dawn activated, that would be quite good.
Gleaming ball of foreshadowing.
And it is nice that the Demonomicon actually does get pages granted through the kind of concentration meteors and spikes, which really does help out because I don't have to worry about trying to time it right and stuff like this. But Warlock here is just doing so much damage now with his concentration, and him actually being invulnerable really does help with his skills because without even charging stuff up, we are just killing them so quickly. So let's hit up a meteor here to kill the big purple dude. Should be able to finish everybody off here, and I'm not bothered about re-rolling because we have got my favorite skills on Warlock at the minute. And let's see who we get. Prisoner can get destroyed, and let's make our way onto the sisters fight. Now we're going to be playing this nice and slowly because you can really get caught in this fight. It's not suited well to Warlock, but we should be fine. So let's make our way over here and let's go kill them.
This is big brain time.
So we are going to be starting off with a meteor charge. We just don't want to be taking too much damage in this first phase because you can really get caught when fighting these sisters. It's just all about trying to not take too much damage fighting the first sister by herself. And we all know this fight really isn't helpful for a lot of Skull heroes, and that also does count towards Warlock because he's really not suited for this fight at all. He likes to sit still when doing his concentration, but both of these sisters love to just move around so much during this actual fight that, yeah, it's really not suited towards him. Luckily, one of the sisters is actually very, very low on HP, so if we do get a little bit lucky and find the right one, she should be dead out of the first phase. I'm going to start off the second phase by charging up a meteor. We want to get that hit in time so we get the invulnerability frames and actually hit the sister. Let's get the spikes charged up. Let's just not take too many hits here, and let's get the concentration meter going. We should be pretty much safe with the invulnerability frames there. That is one thing you do need to time to get the hang of, is planting his skills where you're actually not going to get hit and you can use the iframes on it. You don't want to get hit and stuck in the middle of that move, so I'm just going to shut up. It's going to take a little while to kill this sister, so I'm just going to concentrate. Let's just go and kill her, and she's not going to be living for too much longer. A few more spikes should be able to finish her off, and unfortunately not because they miss. Let's just charge up a meteor. The concentration should be able to finish her off. And there we go. We're out of the sisters fight. Yeah, that fight really not suited for Warlock because he does like to sit still and have his enemies not teleport all around the place. But let's open the chest here, see what we're going to be getting. And we do go ahead, find the Pot of Greed, which is a massive damage boost. So let's pick this up, fully discolored Dark Quartz, and let's move on to the Curses. And let's upgrade Soul Strike fully, and we're also going to be putting a point into Super Baby. And we can move on here to Act 3, but before that, we're going to be putting the rest of the Bone Fragments into the HP Totem. Nearly got that nice and maxed out. We're still going to be prioritizing Bone Rooms, because we do want to get this guy upgraded, or should I say his Totems upgraded. Let's activate a Meteor here. Should be able to take out both of these Neo Golems, and Frieza can just dodge it, which I wasn't really expecting. Luckily now we do just need to get our wisdom nice and maxed out. That is all I can really ask for, because that really just will boost his damage up massively. We're going to be charging up a meteor here just to help kill all the guys on the right hand side, because I don't want him to fall off and have to kill him that way. So luckily with the spikes and the meteor, we can just kill them from far away without actually having them move around a ton. So let's just charge with a big meteor. If we're lucky, it might actually kill the guy up top as well. And everybody should be dead here. We've got one more enemy in this dude. Luckily, the meteors should just be able to take that guy out. Let's take the money, move on to the shop here, and we do go ahead and find infinite bones. Let's pick this up, fully pre-staff, and we do get a free legendary from the Pot of Greed, being the Crown of Thorns. So let's just destroy both of these. We do also have the Demonomicon activated, and every 4 skills now, the Demonomicon is activated, and it uses one of the 3 spells. Not too sure which one's which, so we'll just have to see when we get them. But also getting that big magic attack increase off that is good. And let's open the red flask here. Let's swap out DP for Little Skul and him for Ent. We will also open the random box, and the Veiled Mask can just get destroyed. Let's come up top, reroll for an item, and the Raven Monarch's Feather is certainly not what we want, but we will take it for now, and let's just let it get destroyed. Let's move on here to the next Skull Room, and if we could find either a little bit of luck and get the Solar Sword to find Fulgent Dawn, that would really help and be appreciated. Other than that, there's not really too much else I would want. Luckily, finding Infinite Bone actually was a big bonus, just because our skills are going to be on 100% cooldown every single time. Okay, so one of the Demonomicon spells is activated, and all it does is do some weird AoE attack, which, I mean, I'm not going to be complaining about. It might do some high damage, I'm not too sure. But we can go ahead, speak to the Wolf NPC now. I mean, I will take anything, even max HP. I'm certainly not going to be complaining about. Let's get these skills activated, and the Demonomicon, it basically just does damage on every 4 skills, which is certainly not bad. 246 damage it's not the worst. Let's activate a meteor here just to kill basically everybody. We're doing so much damage when that lands. And let's see who we get. Gargoyle can get destroyed. Let's move on to the adventurer fight. Let's charge up a meteor here, and here we're going to be fighting the archer, the fire wizard, and the warrior. Luckily, the meteor should be able to do a good amount of damage to all these 3. The mage is actually already dead somehow. Same with the archer. Not really expecting to be dealing all this damage, but I am certainly not complaining. I don't actually know how she died instantly, but it's not my thing to think of. We've only got the warrior left. Luckily, a few skills should be able to take him out, and he is not going to be living for too much longer. And if I could ask, could we give us the mage's legendary? No. The hunter's boot can get destroyed, and let's also go ahead destroy predator. Now, all that I can ask now is that we do find just a little bit better magic damage items or a good quintessence. But whilst we're here, we will put the rest of the bone fragments into the HP, and then we'll be going into our magic attack. Now let's move on here to the next skull room. We'll start off by charging up a meteor, just because it is the best room clearing AoE skill in the game. So let's activate that to kill literally everybody. Luckily, with the Demonomicon being active, it really does help increase our damage, and that is a very poor timing on the meteor then to actually not be able to hit Frieza. Luckily, we should be able to hit him now because he can't dodge those projectiles, and the Demonomicon's active, should be able to take out the final rest of these guys. And let's get the meteor active to go ahead and kill all the final few enemies. We're not going to be needing to fully concentrate it. Or was that actually a lie? Because he might get the summon off here, which is really not the best for us. But hey, we've got to kill a golem now, which is really just a little bit of effort, which I cannot be bothered doing. Luckily, one meteor should be able to finish him off. And let's see who we get. Minotaur can get destroyed. Let's move on to the item room. And the spikes and the meteors should be able to finish off these guys. We can activate the big meteor attack to go for the Neo Golems. Let's get the Demonomicon activated. And there's only a few enemies left up here. And let's open the ominous chest. And nothing too good, so we'll just go ahead, destroy the omen item, move on to the shop. And we're going to be taking the food. And there's nothing too good, so we can move on. Really not finding the big kind of magic damage items, which is a little bit unfortunate, but there's nothing we can really do. Luckily, a meteor should be able to take out the rest of the guys down here. Same with the spikes if they actually want to activate to kill them. And we got one more meteor left. Luckily, when we fully charge it, it should be doing a good amount of damage to all these golems. And we took just way too much damage in this room because we're really just trying to keep our health maxed out for the Chimera fight. Let's make our way onto the next item room here. Let's summon these spikes, get the Demonomicon activated. That should kill all of the guys up here, including the whip guys. Let's charge up a meteor to kill the final enemy. And it is freezer, so it is going to block it unless he goes for that attack. And let's open the chest. We do get the Dark Priest robe, which we might as well take for the Colleen insignia. And let's move on here to the Chimera fight. Shouldn't be causing us any kind of a problem. We can just sit there and face tank and chuck some meteors in its face. So let's just go ahead and kill it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we are. We are going to start off by charging up a meteor. If we could find just a good quintessence from this fight, that would really help us out. Or like I said, get a little bit more concentration speed from, say, the trainee's necklace. Because other than that, we're not really doing too much damage to this guy with our magic damage. So we might have to go ahead and actually invest in Kingslayer. Yeah, this is really just a slow fight. Nothing's really happening. He can't hurt us, but we're hurting him. All we really need now is, like I said, the better damage. Because yeah, our Abyssal Meteor is actually hitting for a ton. Everything else isn't really doing too much. So let's summon a meteor here. Should be able to hit him and deal a good amount of damage. Let's dash through the poison, activate the Abyssal Spikes, charge up a few more meteor hits, and a few more skills, and this guy's not going to be living for too much longer, especially when we get the Demonomicon activated. Should be hitting him, doing a good amount of damage. The final meteor might just be able to finish him off here if we summon it and get it sent down at the right time. This guy's not got too much HP left, and there we go. The spikes have finished it. It's a dead Chimera. Now let's open the chest. What are we going to be getting from this? And nothing really too good, so we're just going to be destroying the voodoo doll for now. Let's make our way up to the curses. And let's upgrade Super Baby and also buy Kingslayer. And we can move on to Act 4, but before that, let's put the rest of the bone fragments into the damage totem. Nearly got that maxed out, which is great. All that can ask now is that we find some better magic damage items. If we can find the Solar Sword to make Fulgent Dawn, Nether Mana Suppressor, or just some better wisdom items, that would really help us out. But we're still probably going to be taking the Skull Rooms over anything, just because we really do want to get these totems nice and maxed out. And this guy, he's working very well for killing rooms of enemies, just not doing very well for actually killing bosses, which is probably going to be a problem later down the line, but for right now we're doing fine. And let's see who we get here. Gambler can get destroyed. Finding legendaries is still really good just to get that really massive bonus for the totems. And we will summon a full meteor here on Guts. Don't want to be taking too much damage against him, so we just want to be playing it safe, waiting for his dashes to come into us. Then we can go for the fully charged up skills. Let's just summon a meteor here when we can. Get the concentration nice and maxed out so we don't take any kind of damage from him, even though he took both of those hits right there. And let's take the money, move on to the Skull Room. Really trying to find a shop because we have taken a lot of damage in that last room there against Guts. I think we took about a few hundred just on him by himself. Luckily, we do get the Halfling Girl here, so we will be able to get that nice big free heal if she is lucky towards us and gives us not the 30% or the 20% herb, but of course she did. Why would she not? I mean, I'll take 20%. It's certainly not bad in its own right. And let's see who we get. Yaksha can get destroyed. Let's move on to the shop. I'm going to be taking the food, and we do also find the Nether Mana Suppressor up top, so let's take this for the broken mana engine. And we do also find Fulgent Dawn, so let's pick the Solar Sword up, get Fulgent Dawn activated. Now let's go ahead. We're going to be locking in our fourth and final wisdom. Now I've got some big power-ups in damage now with the Nether Mana Suppressor and Fulgent Dawn, and also getting our wisdom maxed out. Really going to be helping us deal a ton of damage to all these enemies, which I am so happy about. That's all I could have asked from this run in the end. And we do also get the Death Knight here, which is a free 44 shields, so it will work well for the Adventurer fight, which we should actually be coming up on very soon. And the Golden Wand certainly isn't bad, so we will take it for the Ceremonial Dagger. dagger, because in the next shop we will be able to just spend all of our gold there and get that maxed out, even though it's not really doing anything for us right now. Let's activate the big meteor. Should be able to take out the executioner or just get him to literally 1 HP. We are doing so good for damage now. I was kind of thinking we weren't going to be able to make it in the end there because we weren't just finding anything good, but finding the nether manet, it's kind of just sealed the victory for us now. And let's destroy Berserker. Let's move on to the adventurer fight. And who are we going to be fighting? I mean, the thief is certainly not a bad one to take, so we can just charge up the meteor for the first kill. Is that actually going to be able to get the damage off? It is not, so let's just hit him with the spikes. This is all that's really going to be able to damage him for the first few hits, because trying to time a meteor on this guy is probably just not going to happen, but we can test it out anyway. Getting 1 hit in there is certainly not bad, so let's get another one going. Let's sit that on the ground. Luckily, he does spawn in to get hit by that. Let's activate these spikes as well, going for a meteor charge. And this is one of those fights where you don't want to be concentrating fully on every single one of his moves, because you will just not hit this guy at all, and he's nearly dead from 1 single meteor, and Kingslayer finishes him off. That's kind of what happens in this run now, is we can deal tons of damage at once, but if it doesn't hit, we're kind of screwed. But we can just put the rest of the bone fragments into the magic attack and then onto the skill cooldowns. Don't need to be worrying about that too much longer now, because if we do get either 1 unique or 2 rares, we will just be able to get that totem maxed out, which is really quite weird getting it maxed out this early in the game, but I'm certainly not complaining. It is going to be able to help us with the skill cooldowns, which is important on Warlock here, and because we've got this, we don't actually really need infinite bone anymore. And let's see who we get. Hunter can get destroyed. Let's move on to the next skull room. Let's start off by charging up a meteor. I can see an NPC in there. Who is it going to be? I would very much appreciate a King Slime or just a reroll NPC, because why not? I mean, you are completely useless to us. We are not going to be using you. Like I said, we've got my favorite skills on the Warlock right now, and let's see who we get. Ninja can get destroyed. Let's move on to the item room. Just trying to find a shot before the Joan fight so we can actually get our HP maxed out. And we've got the final few enemies remaining here. Luckily, the spikes and meteors should be able to take all of these guys out, so let's get these spikes nice and charged up. Let's get a meteor going just to help kill the guys at the top, because it should just be able to one-tap them. Yeah, I didn't even get to summon it and they're already all dead. So let's open the ominous chest. Nothing good here, so we will just destroy the Idol of the Forgotten, move on to the shop, and we're going to be buying the Hawaiian pizza, swapping out Berserker for Ent, and we're also going to be locking in our second antique. Now let's move on to the next skull room. Doesn't really matter. We physically don't need to be taking these anymore, so I don't know why I have, because we cannot take any more bone rooms. They do not make any sense, because we've already got the totems maxed out. There's not much else we could want. Luckily, all we need to do is keep our health maxed out for the Joan fight, and that is pretty much it. Predator can get destroyed. Let's move on to the next money room, because we do want to get the 1 maxed out before we actually get to the hero fight, which luckily we should be able to do. And let's charge up a meteor here before we get the executioner active, so it should be able to one-tap him. And we've got an NPC down here. Is it going to be not the reroll NPC? It is Little Gust, which isn't exactly better unless he gives us something decent. So let's take the money. We will go ahead, speak to Lil Gus down here. Just give us anything decent at the minute. The Ancestral Bracelet is certainly not it, so we can make our way over to the Joan fight. Now, we all know Joan's got her 2 phases in the totems in the second phase fighting her, so this should be an absolute breeze for us. So let's just go and kill her.
Okay, let's go.
All that I can ask it is that we do find a good quintessence to actually use and keep, because we don't have one right now, which really isn't the way you want to be playing this game. We do want to be able to find one to get somewhat good. Maybe a Susanoo or even a Wisp is certainly not a bad choice. Luckily, the first totem is down. We should be able to do a good amount of damage to this second one. A few skills should actually just be able to finish her off completely. And a meteor, if it doesn't have a shield up, should be able to take this totem out, but it did. So let's just charge up these spikes, go for the big damage here. She's just not wanting me to finish off this second totem. Luckily, it should be dead for the final few meteors. Let's move on to the second phase of Joan herself. So let's charge up a meteor here. Luckily, it should drop just before she actually starts fighting. So let's hit her with a meteor. That did a good amount of damage if she didn't just dodge out of the way of it. So let's just get to charging up another one. Hopefully that this can actually hit her this time, if she doesn't want to be an absolute knob and move out the way. And we are just playing it a little bit more safe, because we don't want to be taking too many hits here, and she is loving to run away from us, which, as you know, really does not help out Warlock, because we just won't be able to do any damage if they're moving away. Luckily, the meteors should be able to take her out. One more meteor or spikes should be able to finish the job, and she is very much nearly dead here. We just want to be not getting hit by every single move. The meteor should be able to finish it off, and there we go. Joan is dead. So let's open the chest here. What are we going to be getting? And I did ask for a quintessence. The Banshee certainly isn't bad, so let's take this for now. Let's move on to Act 5. But before that, we can go into the curses, and we're just going to be picking up Collection Desire. Now, we can move on, put the final remaining bone fragments into the totem. Got that maxed out, which is certainly not bad. So we just need to make our way over to the shop as quick as possible, and all we're going to be doing is buying the food, and we can move on. Now, if you guys have enjoyed today's episode and you do want to help support the channel, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe if you're new here. There will be a playlist down in the description to all my other Skul content if you do want to go and watch that, and there will also be a link to the Discord down there if you want to speak to me and any other members of the channel. And for the build we are rocking, we have Legendary Warlock with the Banshee Quintessence, the Dark Priest Robe, the Demonomicon, the Pot of Greed, the Basic Staff, the Fulgent Dawn, Infinite Bone, Nether Mana Suppressor, Mage's Mana Bracelet, and the Golden Wand. So we're really just focusing on doing pure damage with Warlock himself, getting up for Wisdom and Artifact, and we've just got Soul Strike, Super Baby, Kingslayer, and the Collection Desire to help with our Meteor and the HP bonus. And there's nothing much else for us to do now except kill the first hero.
Okay, let's go.
Now, we all know he's got his 2 phases, so we just don't want to be taking too much damage in this first one. We'll be starting it off by charging up a Meteor and activating the Banshee. Let's just dodge out of the way of all these attacks, go for the Meteor hit. With Wisdom active, that should be doing a good amount of damage to him. Let's just get the spikes activated, and this is really how you want to be playing Warlock, is just nice and safe with the concentration, not getting too close to the hero himself so we don't take any hits. And we're going to be doing a good amount of damage here. Let's get the Demonomicon activated, go for a Meteor. Let's just wait for him to do all his moves, dodge out the way through the balls. Let's activate the Banshee again, go in for the Meteor charge, and we should be able to hit that, and the first hero should nearly be dead out of his first phase. Yeah, he's going to do his invulnerability attack, so we just want to be dodging through all of this. We can go up ahead and charge a Meteor on this guy. The Demonomicon also trying to hit him. Let's dodge out of the way of that. The Meteor should hit, get him out of his first phase. And we're doing a ton of good damage. We just need to keep the concentration with the skills up. So we'll be starting off with a Banshee and a Meteor charge. Let's wait for him to do that so we can dodge out of all the way. Let's hope the Meteor hits and gets some good damage in. Let's get these spike hits before anything else happens. Get the charge up going. And whilst he's sat here, we can activate the Meteor charge, get the big concentration boost. That was one thing we were not fortunate enough to get, is the Trainee's Necklace for the concentration, which is quite unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. Let's activate the Banshee, get the Meteor charged up, and that is doing some big damage here to the first hero, hitting him for 14 grand. And we should be able to just charge up a Meteor here to deal some damage to him, get the invulnerability frames on it, dodge out of the way of that attack. We just be playing it nice and safe in this hero fight. That's all it's about. If we can't get the full concentration off, don't bother about trying to get it going. Let's summon the Meteor, dodge out of the way of you. We want to be dodging out of the way of his suck attacks so we don't take the 50 HP. Let's get a Meteor charged up and go for the spikes. This should be doing a good amount of damage here. We can hit him with the spikes again, charge up another Meteor. Let's just get the invulnerability frames maxed out on this. Let's get the Meteor going. We want to be charging the Meteor here. If we are lucky, we should be able to get some invulnerability frames off of it, and we can just sit in the middle here, wait for him to do this attack, activate the Banshee and get the invulnerability frames, but we don't. We do lose the revive. Luckily, this guy's not going to be living for too much longer, so let's activate the Meteor, deal some big damage there, and he is dead. So that was our Warlock run in the Dark Mirror level 10. If you guys have enjoyed and you do want to help support the channel, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you are new here. This has been Mystic. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.